Let's get started, shall we? Why we never march an army of moose like horses? Imagine our ancestors built military unit that rides moose instead of horse. Horses are good. They hold formation, take saddles, obey riders, and charge in disciplined, coordinated movements. Meanwhile, moose grab each other's. They can destroy their tents and hang themselves on tree branch. They can friendly fire in war as well. In mating seasons, the forest become chaotic and dangerous. Males fight and charge wildly like a competition. So just walking through it can be a little risky, and every plan you made for tidy stables goes down in hell. Did you know moose are ecosystem managers of wetlands? They spend a lot of times in lakes, ponds, and wetlands. By eating certain plants, they naturally manage those ecosystems the way farmer manages the land. Moose actually swims and dive underwater to eat aquatic plants. By eating some plants more than others, they influence which plant grows, which don't, and how the whole wetland stays balanced. Seriously, nature is mysterious and amazing. So they act like natural landscapers or ecosystem managers. If people keep moose in captivity, those moose are no longer out there shaping and maintaining wetlands. You have basically taken a worker away from the environment because the moose aren't doing their natural job anymore. If we take away moose, wetland changes, maybe plant overgrows, balance shifts, and whatnot. Okay, moving forward to domestication. It is not a hobby. Taming is teaching one animal to accept you, whereas domestication, it is slow repeated choices. You pick the calm, useful animals, let them breed, block the rest, keep doing that for many generations. Over time, the genes for tameness, faster growth, or easy feeding become common. That's why pigs and chickens change fast, short lives, many babies. Moose don't give us that sweet, so the genetic work never pays off in human lifetime. On to the next one. Many animals we use live in structured groups with leaders and followers. That social map is where humans live in and become top dog. Horses have herd rules you can hijack. Deers tend to be solitary or only gather temporarily, so no boss to replace. You can't capture a leader if there is no leader to capture, blah blah blah. Moving forward, temperament. Domesticated species tolerate noise. Close quarters take on their backs and the odd human smell. Moose do not. Their startle reflex is tuned for survival. Loud noise, a flash of colors, or a sudden movement can send them into a dangerous panic. So that's why they can't be domesticated like horses. On to the next one, diets and guts. Cows and goats eat cheap plant that humans don't want. Pigs eat garbage and leftovers, whereas moose largely browse from forests and wetlands and depend on special gut community to digest. Recreating that food economy next to a village is silly, expensive, and terrible idea. Next, reproduction. To change a species, you need lots of generations. Pigs and chickens give you that in human life. Moose takes years to mature and breed slowly. On to the next one, impacts. The whole herd management concept fails if an animal injures itself while trying to escape. Moose tries to break the fence and tend to panic in the pens. If we keep wild animals like moose near the people, if you are dumb in the domestic world, it has risk of bringing new parasites and disease, which can be expensive as well as deadly. You can see how these rules explain history. Humans domesticated animals that fit the list. They lived in groups, eat cheap food, breed fast, and tolerate people. Horses, cows, sheep, goats, pigs. Chickens, they tick the box. Strong animals that don't meet the checklist, of course, elephants, rhinos, bears, moose, all the non-domesticated, or you can say carnivores and etc. are not. People sometimes tamed individual, but they never became true farm animals. People in the North culture did domesticate reindeer because reindeer happened to fit the deal. They form social groups, which is interesting. They migrated with humans, they eat lichens human can't use, and they breed on schedule people could manage. That's the exception that proves the rule, not the start of moose-based cavalry though. On to the conclusion, let's swing back to the weird again. Because the truth is practical and little strange, the moose heavily rely on the smell for their survival. Now if we put them among the humans, they will be surrounded by human smells like smoke, which is terrible, cooking fat, clothes, and that will lead to diminution of their smelling ability. They can get lost in their own neighborhood. Antlers are gorgeous, but they are expensive. The energy that they need in the form of calories is wasted instead of utilizing in the production of something useful like milk, meat, or labor. Since moose is cold adapted animal, they would most likely feel uncomfortable in warming world, which can make them sick or weak, and pretending that is progress is unethical and harmful.